Hello, Namaskar and Adab to all my friends from your friend astrologer and guide Irfan, once more with you from your very own channel Astro Assurance. One of the planets which terrifies us a lot amongst the malefics apart from Rahu and Saturn is the entity KETU. And while a lot has been said and understood about Saturn and a lot is talked about Rahu as well, KETU still remains an enigma to a lot of us. The reason being is we are not able to decide if KETU is truly a malefic planet or is it a more spiritual entity which gives more spiritual denotations to a horoscope, to the results of a life. And in what situation does KETU harm us less and profit us more? In what situations KETU helps the manifestations of spirituality, and in what situations does KETU give us or move us towards moksha? And that is certainly an enigmatic question. We did a video few days back about Rahu being the sum total of the greed of all the planets put together. Today we are talking about KETU being the sum total of the negation of all planets put together, which means that each planet, by virtue of being placed in a certain placement, by virtue of being placed in certain degrees, in certain signs, and losing some of its strength, that loss of strength of all the planets put together and the negation of results is adding up to the manifestation of all the negatives or the negations related to KETU. Now, what does this mean that KETU represents the negation of all the planets? It means that no planet gives 100% results in the horoscope in whatever placement it is. Even if it's exalted, even it's at its highest glory, there will always be some energy, some placement, some strength which is taken away from it, some attributes which are taken away from it, some results that are taken away from the planet. And some planets give off more and some planets will have very less energy, and so the results of that planet, by virtue of having no energy or less in strength or being in combustion or being in debilitation, their energy is reduced, the ability to give results is reduced, and so the results of the area of the planet or the area of life related to the planet is negated or lessened or not given enough to us. And so when each of those areas are put together, some planet not giving results in certain areas, some other planet not giving results in some other areas, and when you put all of them together, that sum total equals to the result of KETU. Now this means that if a planet, for example, is in the Lagna, and because of virtue of being placed in the Lagna, it is not giving you status in life, it is not giving you that reputation in life, it is not giving you thinking ability, then that adds up to the negative energies or the negation giving energies of other planet and adds up to KETU. So in essence, KETU represents the sum total of the negation of energy of all the planets put together. So for example, what can be the negation of Mercury? The negation of Mercury is losing the power of analysis, losing the power of logical reasoning, losing the power of being able to take educated choices. And so how does it relate to KETU? The way it relates to KETU is that KETU is representative of that energy as well as the energies of others as well. So by virtue of Mercury losing that strength, losing that ability, a person may not be able to take informed choices, educated choices, and so may make mistakes in his decisions in life, and hence take a wrong turn or wrong decision which will end up in losses or negation of certain results in his life. What is the negation for Moon? The negation for Moon is the ability to not be able to think clearly, not to be able to nurture others, not to be able to support others, and not to be able to give succor to others or nutrition to others, and not be empathetic to others. And so that energy, if it's lost, then the person's ability to be able to show these results or show these mannerisms, show this attitude, is also reduced in the person's life. What is the negation for Venus? The negation for Venus is loss of relations, loss of intimacy, loss of support from the opposite gender, loss of material results in life, loss of ability to be able balanced in your needs versus other needs, the loss of or the negation of the ability to make good teams, good relationships, good associations. If Venus results are negated, so these results, these attitudes are also negated in life. And then what is the negation for Jupiter? The negation for Jupiter is the negation of learning, or the ability to learn from experiences, be able to move up in the higher realm because of being able to take those or imbibe those lessons which life throws at us and be able to use them, and thus becoming wiser in life, being able to take wiser decisions, wiser paths in a life, and be able to deal with relationships in a more wiser manner. And it relates to many areas in our life. And so each planet will negate certain results in our horoscope basis its strength, basis its placements, basis aspects on it, basis conjunctions, basis some doshas as well. And so if a planet is negating some of the results, that result can be attributed to Ketu as well as the sum total. How does it come about? This means that wherever Ketu is placed, Ketu will obviously negate the results of that particular house as well as the lord of that particular sign as well. So if Ketu is placed, say for example, in the 4th house, then material gains will be less, your relationship with mother will go through ups and downs, you will never get 100% results from your mother, domestic life will never come about 100% complete satisfaction, complete happiness in the domestic life will not come by to you if Ketu is placed in the 4th house, for example. Now whichever planet rules that house, if Venus rules that house, then apart from not being able to make material gains, apart from not being able to have good relations with mother, apart from not being able to get the peace and happiness in domestic life, plus you will not be able to balance between relationships, intimacy will also suffer, the support from spouse will also suffer, and your ability to be able to attract gains will also suffer. So you will neither be able to attract gains, neither you will be able to accumulate gains, which the 4th house represent. So Ketu's placement in a certain house negates the results or absorbs the results of that house to a large extent, as well as of the lord of the sign that it is placed in, which means that Ketu's placement in any house and any sign will make you struggle to get the results of that particular house. But how is it the sum total of the negative energies of all the planets, which means that Ketu does not only represent the house negation and the lord of the sign negation which it displays, but Ketu also represents the negation of other planetary entities. Wherever Mars is placed, if Mars is combusted or Mars is debilitated or Mars is under the aspect of other planets and Mars is losing the energy to be able to give you the energy to strongly go ahead and get results in your life, then some attribute of that is also taken up by Ketu, which means Ketu will also give you less energy to be able to manifest results of the house that it is placed in and the sign it is placed in, and where it is aspecting as well. If Ketu is aspecting Mars, then the attribute becomes higher and stronger, because not only is Mars combusted or debilitated, now Ketu's aspect is also on it. So Ketu absorbs all the negative entities, or Ketu absorbs all the negations of the planet. But Ketu is also, on the other hand, a planet of opportunities. And why is Ketu a planet an opportunity? Ketu is different from Rahu, that Rahu can give you only greed, for example, give you the passion and the hunger to get things. Rahu can't be very spiritual. But why is Ketu termed as more spiritual? The reason being is Ketu's placement in a house or in a sign is the result of you having planted the flag of already conquering that earlier, and hence in the earlier life, and hence which means that in this life that manifestation is not for you but for others, you need to do for others. But how can Ketu still attract gains? Which means that if you are more spiritual and you want to do for others, you are ready to give up the results of that particular house and you are working towards that. So for example, Ketu is placed in the 7th house, then you want to do more for your spouse, you want to do more for your partners, you want to do more for the relation that you have on a day-to-day with the people that you deal with, and you look less for self and you are ready to do more for others and you look at yourself last. then because of this approach where you are ready to face the negation that Ketu is giving you but ready to do for others, then you are moving up the spiritual realm, and through that you are moving toward the more positive manifestation of Ketu. And so because you have this demeanor of being ready to face even negation for certain results in your life, Ketu in turn rewards you more. There are many people in this world where Ketu is placed in the 11th house, but they have lots of money, they have lots of friends, they have a huge social network, they have a big social network, and they also benefit a lot from there. There are many people who have Ketu in the 5th house, but they have a lot of children, they have happy relations with children, children are close to them, and children take good care of them. But why does it happen that in the same placement Ketu rewards some people but doesn't reward some people? It is because the approach that you have in life is to give more and to get less in a certain area, and so Ketu over a period of time rewards you more. So Ketu in a way is an investment in your karma. The more you put in, the more you can extract later. When you go to an ATM, you need to have money in the ATM to be able to draw. And if you have less in the emotional bank account, if you have less in the financial bank account, if you have less in the spiritual bank account, how can you extract more? So Ketu will allow you to extract only when you reach a certain level. You add so much into your account and you reach a certain level, only after that can you extract, but that extraction will be exponential. And if you don't reach a certain minimum level that account needs to be filled in before you start to extract, you will not be able to get the result. So it is like a minimum emotional bank account, a minimal financial bank account, a minimal spiritual bank account, empathy bank account that you need to fill in to a certain level before you can start to draw. So now it's up to you whether you allow the negation of things in your life, or you take a more spiritual dimension, you take a more spiritual approach, and then you manifest the results of Ketu by being patient, by keeping on adding to the Ketu bank account, and then after a period of time, after certain investments in that bank account, you are able to extract from there. So wherever Ketu is placed, it does negate the results of that house and the lord of the sign and the sign where it is placed. However, Ketu is also representative of the other areas. So if any planet is negating you the results, and if you are filled in the Ketu's bank account, you will see that Ketu will also give you back in the results of that planet also. So for example, Ketu is placed in the 4th house. There is no relation that Ketu has with societal connections, because there is no relation that Ketu has with the societal connections represented by the 11th house, because neither is Ketu placed in the 11th house, neither is Ketu aspecting the 11th house. Yet you will find that if you are more accepting and you are more giving in your household, in your domestic life, and in relations to your mother, and you are filled in that emotional bank account with your mother, you are filled in your emotional bank account in your domestic life, in your relationships, and you are ready to give up, and you're okay and you're patient even when life gives you less material resources which the 4th house represent, then you will find that after the period of time when you have shown the spiritual attitude of still being thankful, still being grateful to the supreme energy, and waiting and biding your time, then you will find that slowly, one by one, things fall into place. And even if you have a weak 11th house, even if you have a weak 11th lord, and the result of that house are negated to you or being less given to you because the planet doesn't have the requisite strength, the 11th house is afflicted, but you are having a more spiritual attitude in life, you have a more spiritual demeanor. In both the results of that house where Ketu is placed and the result of the house where the planet is weak. So what does this mean? It means you should not only be spiritual in the house where Ketu is placed, but also have a more spiritual and more patient bearing of the other houses and the other planetary entities which are weak and not giving you results. And in those results also, if you are patient, if you are more giving, if you have a more spiritual approach, then Ketu will backfill that for you. So even if Ketu is not in the 11th house or not aspecting your 11th house, but if you have a very spiritual approach to social network, to your friends, to your network circle, and whenever somebody comes and asks you for help or for support from your network circle, and you are ready to give that help to them without asking for returns, You're ready to help that friend out without asking for returns. You're ready to help the elder brother who also represents the 11th house, and without asking for returns or without asking for favors in return. And if you're patient and yet you're grateful, then you'll find that over a period of time the social network will improve, the friendships will also be strong. You will also have more friends who are ready to help you. Your relation with elder brother will also improve, and then there will be a time when the elder brother is also able to return and reciprocate the initial help that you did, though maybe with time. So Ketu may be placed in any house, but Ketu will backfill you the results of any other house where the energy is less, the strength of the planet is less, the manifestation of the house is less, the results coming from the planet is less. As long as for the results of that house, you become more spiritual, you become more giving, you become more empathetic, and you're ready to give more. If you are more patient about any house which is giving you less results, any planet which is giving you less results, any challenges that you face about that house and from the Lord of the house because of bad yogas or bad doshas or bad aspects, yet you're more giving, you're more patient, and yet you're more empathetic, and yet you're spiritual, and you're more grateful, and you are patient, you're submissive to the energy of the Supreme Lord and to the decision of the Supreme Lord and to the condition that the Supreme Lord keeps you in, you will find that Ketu will backfill that placement also. But you will have to have an approach of negation and acceptance about that area also, and be more and still be more giving. If Ketu is placed in your second house, has no aspect on your 7th house, for example, and in relationships you have challenges, the Lord of the 7th is also placed in a bad dosha, yet you are more accepting of not having good reciprocation from your spouse or your partner, yet you're more giving, yet you're more patient, yet you're more loving, yet you give more space to the relationship, then you will find that over a period of time, in spite of that particular house not being strong or not getting strength, the planet also is still under duress, is still in a bad yoga, still in a bad dosha, still under bad aspects, yet you will find that with time you will find that the clock turns and the results change for you, and that is given to you because Ketu will manifest the results of the 7th house. If Ketu is placed in your Lagna, not aspecting your 10th house at all, yet if you are facing challenges in your career, if you are facing challenges with your superiors, you are not able to get gains, you are not able to get promotions, you are not able to get good designations on growth, yet if you are spiritual, you are more accepting and you are willing to put in more effort, you are willing to support more, you are willing to work harder, and you still try to keep good relations with your supervisors in spite of not getting the favors from them, you will find that with time Ketu backfills that area for you. Maybe late in life, but Ketu will support you there. In some instances, Ketu may not give you the results completely or to the extent that the 10th house can give you or you expect from the 10th house. Yet Ketu may fill in the career aspects, maybe by giving you more success in business, or give you somebody in authority figure who may still support you in spite of your superiors at work not filling in. So some superior, some authority figure will help you, some career, some avenue will be successful for you, if say not career. If 7th house in terms of your spouse and relation with spouse are not fulfilling, are not being given to you, then somebody outside of the relationship, maybe as a friend, can give you that emotional support, can become a person who is more friendly to you, is the emotional support that you need to be able to pass through it. And you may not miss that relationship also after some time. Many people, sometimes they go through a bad relationship and then they feel I'm not up to it, and then they don't miss that relationship also, they don't miss the need for the relationship or the companionship also. It is always good to have a companion in life, but if you feel that you have gone through the paces and you don't have the energy for it and you're okay on your own, so be it. Anything that fits you is good enough, and so you're ready to let go. But if you're not ready to let go, and if you're ready to make another attempt, but this time you want to make an attempt with giving more space, being more patient, being more empathetic, and giving more in love and care and affection, and expecting less, then you will find that sooner than later Ketu backfills that, and you are reciprocated in the relationship. And hence that's why sometimes one relationship fails and another relationship proves to be successful. One job fails but another job seems to be successful. One investment fails but another investment seems to be successful. One friend lets you down but another friend comes up and helps you later, because you are more grateful, you are more accepting, you are more spiritual, and you are still able to submit to the will of the Lord, and you are ready for the results to manifest over a period of time, rather than being dejected, rather than being angry, rather than being anxious, rather than being frustrated. If you are able to take that approach in life, Ketu, wherever it is, will manifest the results, will backfill the results of that house. So Ketu, while being the sum total of all negations, because it is negating not only the results of the house where it is placed and the results of the sign and the planet which rule that sign, but also it is the sum total of negation of the entire horoscope put together. But it will manifest, it will give back if you have that attitude, you have the attribute, and you have the mannerism, and you have the spiritual behavior, spiritual approach in life. Now a disclaimer: all results will not be given by Ketu because you are very patient and you are a nice guy or a nice person, but Ketu will backfill one place, and that generally it is the more karmic need. So if some area is still not being given to you and some other is being given to you, because that is the karmic need which Ketu is fulfilling. If you have a certain karma which is the debt for you, which is the karmic debt for you, then Ketu helps you to manifest in that area more than the other areas in your life. And so what does Ketu do? Ketu moves you towards the karmic path you need to take. And so some results continue to be negated for you because that is not your karmic plan, that is not your karmic path. Ketu takes you on the karmic path by negating certain areas of you for your life and giving you more success in some other areas. Rahu pulls you into the greed, into the hunger for those areas which you're made for, those areas which you need to fulfill the karma for this life. Ketu fulfills the karmic debt that you have, and in negating, in giving up, you're also giving up the negative karmic baggage that you're carrying. And so it is always better when certain results are negated to you, not being given those results, to still work towards them, yet be grateful towards life, toward the Supreme Lord, because if not one area, some other area will always manifest for you. Ketu will ensure that backfill always happens, the spiritual backfill also happens to you, and you are elevated in the spiritual realm also, because the karmic debt is being paid off. Ketu takes care of that, as long as you have a Ketu approach towards life, which means you are ready to give up most of the results in life which are not being given to you in spite of your attempt, yet you are thankful, yet you are spiritual, yet you are submissive to the will of the Lord. Sooner than later you will find that Ketu backfills you, if not one area, another area. So please don't be dejected, please keep up your passion, keep up your smiles, keep up your gratitude, and be more thankful, and you will find that if you are more peaceful in your mind, if you are more loving in your heart, and if you are more grateful to the Supreme Lord in whatever condition the Lord has given you, if nothing else, love, affection and peace will definitely be on your side. And the biggest results that show that you are being rewarded is when you have peace in your life. Even if you don't feel very loved, but if you feel more peaceful in your mind and you feel peaceful in your heart, that means Ketu is manifesting that results in your life. You are on the spiritual path, and Ketu is helping you shed the karmic baggage, and because of which you are more peaceful. So maybe the worldly results are not manifested for you, but the spiritual results will surely be manifested for you, and that is what Ketu truly represents in a horoscope, negating the materialistic and achieving the spiritual. So friends, look at in your own life which results have not been given to you, which results you have had to struggle for, what results you have aspired for too long yet have not come by to you, and be more accepting of those results, become more spiritual of those results, be more empathetic of those results, still be grateful to the Lord, and still continue to work towards that with a smile, with gratefulness, and you will find sooner than later, in some way or the other, the Lord will backfill that area for you, and in some or the other area, that loss will be made up for you. So friends, like this video, share this video, and if you're looking for a personal consultation for me, please reach out to me at the link given below. Until some other time with some other video, this is your friend astrologer and guide Irfan signing off.